Alright, it's only me. I've just come on the day to talk about the recording I did the other day there of the Motörhead track, The Wolf, that come for the rock and roll album. I think I recorded this on Friday actually, which was September the 5th, which was the day that rock and roll was released. An album that I can remember being released back in 1987. And I always quite enjoyed it. It's a fairly good Motörhead album, good material on it. The production's not that great. Kim, when you think of like 1987, the big albums that were coming out that year, massive productions like Whitesnake 1987, Def Leppard, Hysteria, Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Motörhead just seemed to be doing the same old Motörhead stuff, which was good because straight after this they went into signing with Sony Records and trying to crack America and releasing a couple of albums that I didn't really enjoy that much at the time, purely because, not because of the material, just because of the production choices they were making to try and sell more records. So anyway, let's talk about what we've got on here. Tracks 1 and 2 is the guitars just doubled up. Track 3 is the bass, track 4 is the drums, track 5 lead vocal, track 6 and 7 I used to drop in the lead guitars, and track 8 is a backing vocal on there. So here we go, which starts up with a drum beat that sounds remarkably similar to the Overkill album, with its fast beat, double kick drumming like Phil Taylor, knacking the feet in. There's the bass grinding away in there. I always think that when he playing the bass, something similar to like George Formby or something. What's that rhythm thing? That's just the guitars doubled up there, doing that riff that drives the whole thing. Quite simple song, very similar to Locomotive for the No Remorse album. That's me just with that back vocal in there, coming to guitar solos. Strap these in, with a kind of trade-off thing happening. That one's got the wah-wah half open. That drumming, man, that feels done my legs in. And one last time around, we need vocals, just for the riff and that stuff. Pretty good. That nice wee Motörhead track came clocking in around about 3 minutes. And then you get the run down 3 times in the end. And then my wee howl like a wolf at the end. So pretty good track that one, fair enjoyed doing that one, good old high energy, like it should be when you're talking Motörhead. So let's talk about how you play it now. How's the whole riff on the hangs in it? It's in a key of A, using a bit of B, and then the chorus is E through E flat, D and C. So you're just doing this pretty easy riff, which is going. back to B. Back down. And then it just repeats that pattern now and now. The energy and the speed of the whole thing just makes you forget that there's no middle eight, no changes in it. Cracking, excellent rock and roll song by Motörhead, and then for the guitar solo, you're going into D. Whoa. You're going into this D thing, it's solo now, the top of that. And then up D. And then it's just that twice. And each guitar gets a shot of and a solo or the thing. So what I did for the first one with the D was just to... And then with the wow. So let's have a play through it with the Wolf. This is the Wolf guitar part. Oh, drink of tea, I think. I'll do the bass part now. I made a hash of that, so we're going to turn the lead guitar tracks off. But well, the bass, as usual for Motörhead, the guitars get all pretty easy. And it's pure the bass driving hang along with the drums. Look, let me put the right setting on here. So with the bass, you're just doing this. pattern here where you're up at this A chord at the 7th fret on the D string and you're just doing that. Then back through that, and then again for the D bit, for the guitar solo, what you're doing is this. Then up E. So let's have a play through of that. The bass is always fun on Motörhead. I'm going to turn the bass off, put it back at the start, and then we have the Wolf on the bass. We drink a tea. That's the Wolf covered. Great track that. I always felt as if the Wolf is a kind of underappreciated Motörhead track, coming as it does at the start of side 2 on Rock and Roll. Never really got played live. Like, I don't think there's any live performances of the Wolf. It's a bit of a shame, but it was maybe because of Phil Taylor. When Phil Taylor left in 1983 or whatever it was, and Peter Gill came in, then Phil Taylor came back for the Rock and Roll album. Still good drummer, but he just wasn't as good as the first time around. Again, Motörhead get a burner drummer out, playing with the double kick drums. But thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day and keep listening to Motörhead.